Okay, I want to take a look right now. I have been convinced to look at RFK Jr. So let's take a look at this dude and see. First, I want to look at his odds or whatever, his journey through the Democratic primaries. And I think that's what we're going to do right now. Um, Root card being the Knight of Pentacles, and the main card being the Queen of Wands. All right, I'm just going to put a card maybe on either side of the Queen of Wands to get a little more on this. Well, the root card being the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles is a creature of habit. And as far as this showing anything about the Democratic primary, this is showing him just chugging along. And you can see the armor that forms around the Knight of Pentacles. Um, that would keep him protected from any stupid shit that people would say about him, which is really important for any of these folks to have this sort of armor. Because as soon as you declare, that you're running, then you're immediately attacked from many directions. But the Knight of Pentacles, this would show him sort of just chugging along. Um, One of the other things is just the fact that this is a Pentacles card. This might show just fundraising, going around and like hitting different towns and fundraising. Um, Now, the Queen of Wands is very charming and gracious, and the Queen of Wands is like the beautiful girl in the room. And it's interesting because for RFK Jr. to show up that way, this would almost show um, his his charm and his like I don't know, I suppose skills being undeniable, right? But that makes sense considering the rest of the cast of characters. I mean, I don't know who they would all be, but one of them would be Joe Biden, and if Kamala Harris is in there or whatever, it, it would be most likely a sea of clowns, and then RFK Jr. So the Queen of Wands just shows that his charm, I guess, would probably outshine the other people. Now, with both of these, this looks way better than I would assume the Democratic primary would look for the guy who is currently getting fucking blackballed and not even mentioned on lists, not even mentioned when it comes to this stuff. Now, on either side of the Queen of Wands. So, first we have the Sun, and the Sun is freedom. It's shameless freedom of expression. Now, of course, RFK Jr. has been vocal, uh, going against the vaccines when a lot of people would never do that. And that is probably what is fueling the Queen of Wands energy here, is in the past how he has spoken his actual truth. And as it moves forward, this is a little harder for me to figure out, but we get a two of Pentacles. I just want to see what the heck this is talking about. Um, hmm. The Two of Pentacles by itself is kind of like having a couple different things going on. As I look at the card, it literally just is the Pentacle that I'm seeing, like in the Knight of Pentacles. And the Pentacle would represent money. It would also represent some sort of protection. But geez. So with that comes the Magician. The Magician, kind of the show off. The Magician is the master of many skills. What the heck? I'm still kind of stumped by this, but Huh. Both of these are performers. So I guess maybe he just fits really well into that. Like him as a performer, as he is campaigning for president, I guess that would come out. Now there is the thing because of the voice. So I just want to look and see what impact that voice is going to have on him, like to the minds of voters. And there's one more that kind of wants to come out there. These are both court cards, and that just means that it would very much be an individual thing. You know, some people wouldn't give a shit and some people would. But with the Page of Cups coming up first, this is a healer and it's an emotionally optimistic child. All of these cards, even the King of Swords is this militaristic commander, and neither the optimistic child or the militaristic commander would give any fucks about this person's voice not sounding too good, you know, especially when compared with a guy who is obviously not up to the task, which is what currently exists in the White House. Well, all right. I'm actually very shocked by all of this because it's showing a pretty good. Everything here is like going well for RFK Jr. in the Democratic primary. So, current world, current dimension, let's look at this and just see, will RFK Jr. win the Democratic primary? And the card that comes out is the Five of Wands. And this just shows a lot of chaos and competition. Um, this is the fight. This is not the victory, right? So that would say to me that probably he will not win, although it looks like he will make a really good showing. At least current trajectory, current timeline, and all of that stuff. There's one thing that I want to look at here. So, some people might turn to RFK Jr. because he seems to be a man of integrity. He seems to believe in something, and I mean, that in Washington is almost completely unheard of, right? An actual person with actual integrity. And really, what it is that they believe in is almost secondary to someone who just has some actual fucking integrity. So I want to look at that. Let's look at RFK Jr.'s integrity. Does he actually believe in something that he would fight for? And we get the Lovers, and that would be a pretty strong yes. The Lovers is massive commitment. One interesting thing here, though, is the card that was on the bottom is the Tower. Um, the, another interesting parallel between these two. So in the Tower, the prison is destroyed. By here, the energy shown, this is like the Eye of Shiva, and it's fucking blowing up the prison tower. Now we have the same sort of thing happening in the Lovers, but it's the moon blowing a blessing. So this is the commitment, and this looks like it is a commitment to blowing something up, to the way that this would make sense to me is like disassembling some sort of structure. I just want to look at the tower and see what we're looking at here because I'm not going to jump into a boat immediately of, oh, RFK is going to, disassemble the system or whatever. I don't necessarily believe that, but the tower is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the traditional way things have always been done. It would show the church, it would show the government. This looks like this is fucking amazing to me, actually. But it looks like he actually is dedicated to bringing down some of these structures, some of the traditional structures in the way that things have um, been done. And if if what he has said so far about the vaccines would show some sort of war that he has with the pharmaceuticals industry, that would be incredible because that whole fucking deal should be pulled down, you know? And we could also look at the military industrial complex and all of that, but this shows like a vow given. This is like massive dedication here to blowing up this tower that has been a prison to us. Now, well, maybe not to us, to him maybe. But when the tower blows up, it is a difficult process always. And even if we look at the whole COVID deal, right? And let's say that this was the beginnings of something that would pull down capitalism, which it looked like, if this sort of energy were just increased and if it kept going, that sort of thing could happen. But that doesn't happen smoothly, right? That is sort of a traumatic change. But this is all fascinating to me, and this looks like he at least believes that he's fighting a good fight, that he's kind of sticking it to the man here, and it looks like he's very dedicated to doing that. I'm gonna pull one more card, and let's just see what I haven't bothered to ask, what I should know about this dude. Wow. The King of Wands. The King of Wands is like the ultimate father figure. The King of Wands is the kind of person who would not tell these kids gathered around him. He wouldn't say, do as I say, not as I do. He wouldn't even tell them shit. He would be the example he would want to set for other people, and then other people could be inspired by him. This is an inspiring leader. I'm I'm really surprised, truly, at everything that has come out in this reading. And I honestly thought the voice would just kill it for him, and the fact that he dared to speak out against the vaccine. Um, but here, it's looking like those things actually won't stand in his way. And all of this looks like he actually is a man of integrity and something of a role model. To which I'm saying, holy shit, I'm surprised. That's what we get here. I would love to hear what you think about this. And that's it for now. Peace.